Ready Check Radio.
What's up, Internet? It's Tuesday. It is 7 p.m. Eastern. That means it's time for Snowbound, the Blizzard podcast brought to you by Ready Check Radio. We hope you're joining us live on twitch.tv/ReadyCheckRadio. If not, if you're watching at ReadyCheckRadio.com or on YouTube, hope sometime you'll make it over to the live show every Tuesday, 7 p.m. Eastern. We've got a lot of World of Warcraft news. We are a week away from Shadowlands. We've got a cinematic trailer to talk about. We've got some pre-patch or pre-event, Scourge event stuff to talk about and get everybody's take on. Then we've got some Overwatch news, and a lot of Hearthstone players seem to be pissed. Well, I guess it depends on like how you play Hearthstone, whether or not you're pissed or angry or whether you even know what I'm talking about. But we'll get to it all with our hosts. If you're listening on Spotify, we hope you'll head on over to Ready Check Radio, RAIDEO.com, and give us all the follows, all the shares. And if you can make it live, make it live. Production note, no shows next week. Thursday is Thanksgiving here in the United States. The Relic Grind hosts on Thursday will have off. Didn't feel like it was fair to give them off, but not the other hosts. So no shows next week. We will have this show today, Relic Grind Thursday, Gaming Gumbo Saturday, but then nothing for the holiday week. Everybody getting a day off without having to worry about it. But that day is not today, so I've got some hosts to talk about the news with me. First up, Mr. Dom Greco. What's up, Zista?
How's it going?
Rock the cat box.
Just keep
Nice
getting
little
these achievements.
achievement
I don't know
you
where
got
they're coming
there.
from.
Yeah.
Achievements are everywhere.
Yeah, use the litter box while in feral DPS druid form in every major city.
Yeah, and you get the title Ready Check Cat Box.
Can I ask you something, though? Where do they keep the litter boxes?
Anywhere they damn well please. It's a feral DPS druid. You gonna tell them to use a different one? I'm not.
Yeah, they're actually up on top of the roofs. You have to use flight form to get there. So that way they keep it away from the average people.
Makes me wonder what those younger druids are doing.
Yeesh. Yeesh. Also on the line, Miss Kristen DeVita, a.k.a. Cat, not in the cat box. How are you?
Doing fine, thank you. Glad to be here.
Absolutely, I am not in the cat box. If you could pull your microphone a little closer to you, I think you sound a little far. There we go.
Sure.
There we go. So we've got a lot of stuff to cover today, gang. 7 days. Are we excited? Are we pumped? Are we ready for Shadowlands?
Yeah.
Nobody said anything. I was like, yeah, sure. Why not?
I was waiting for the cue. I didn't know who you were going to throw it to. But yeah.
My personal excitement kind of comes and goes. I was really hoping to get more out of the pre-patch events, and honestly, the quest line and the surrounding stuff has not been that impressive still, so I'm just kind of back to idling around waiting for Shadowlands to happen.
Right.
Not a good source of excitement at the moment, but I'm sure once it drops I'll be ready to go, and I'll be ready to sit in queue waiting to get into my server.
I always found the pre-launch events to be a little weird because, like, on one hand, you spending all this development time on creating an event that is 2 weeks long and then it's never seen again. So it's like, how much development time do you want to put into really fleshing this out? You know, but then on the other hand, it's like the players are expecting something. They want something epic to bring you in for the moment of we were there, and it's just it's a weird balance for developers, and I kind of get it with the situation of 2020 with COVID and all that, and it's just like
some features had to be cut, and that I totally get it. I just wish, I don't know, I like whenever, like you said, expansions only come along every so often, every couple years. Why not have some sort of big event to really kick that off and celebrate it and treat it as the special occasion that it is? But
well, I think
this year is probably just harder to do.
They did drop a little something for us, and I think this is maybe where Blizzard kind of looks a little more towards this is how we get people fired up for these things rather than the in-game events. Because honestly, these probably hit more people than the in-game events do anyway in most cases. But we did get a new launch cinematic, We'll play it down here for everybody to take a look at. Kat, your first thoughts on this? Did this start to stoke those fires a little bit more than the pre-release or the pre-patch or the Scourge event patch did?
A little bit. It's a really cool cinematic teaser of the 4 realms that we'll be visiting. I love the character designs and the details that have gone into bringing these characters to life in this cinematic.
Yeah.
Trying to make things as expressive and realistic, I suppose, as possible for World of Warcraft. It seems like a real challenge to translate those game models into these more living, breathing characters, and they always do a pretty awesome job with that. So it's just really cool to see these
Now,
guys
you did
brought
mention
to
when we
life.
did take one of this show before we had technical difficulties and had to restart for chat, that you thought, hey, this really doesn't have anything to do with the story. Like, if you miss
Yeah.
watching this trailer, you're going to be totally fine. You
Yeah,
didn't miss a damn thing.
It's really like the intro cinematics of old, where it's just like, here's the world, here are characters doing cool things in the world or interacting with monsters and using their powers. It's not a story loaded cinematic where dramatic events are unfolding. Stuff is being hinted at,
But
but
at the
it's
same time, too, I remember all the way back in vanilla, like when I first played that, the opening cinematic decided my first character. Like my first character was a warlock, and it was an undead warlock because I loved that intro to it in the cinematic. It was just like the infernal coming down, and I was like, "That's badass." And I ended up switching to a rogue, but it still
yeah.
influenced my first decision on what to create. So
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
I absolutely loved what I presume is Maldraxxus in the trailer here.
mhm.
We've got like 3 or 4 ziggurats flying around, throwing plague everywhere. Like I said, I just get the feeling that they were kind of like, yeah, we heard you like Nax, so here's 3 or 4 Nax like
They just heard you like
Naxes,
X's.
Naxes, and we're gonna put them in your Maldraxxuses, and yeah, exactly. Play with these X's, and I was like, yeah, sure. Here's $15 a month. I'm totally playing with those X's. I'm totally gonna play with those X's.
Mhm.
Did you have a favorite zone or a favorite moment in the trailer there, Zista?
For me, it was all about the last 5 minutes. Is just seeing the jailer.
5 minutes. What?
Or
Did
5
I miss a
seconds.
trailer?
Wow, 5 seconds. Last 5 seconds. It's all about the jailer.
Little controversial. I've seen
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of back and forth on some liking the look, some not liking the look, but you're in love.
Yeah, I love a good villain story. I mean, granted, there wasn't much story here, but it's just uh the mystique around the character. So it really just set the tone. It kind of like how you get like all the old cinematics where like Kat was saying, but like here you get like Illidan, like Illidan from Burning Crusade,
Yeah.
coming down. You were not prepared. Like this just sets the tone of where we're going. I love it, and I need to see more.
Kat, a favorite zone, a favorite 5 minutes of the trailer.
I'm really looking forward to Revendreth. I love the Castlevania aesthetic. I love the whole romantic, horrible vampire thing that they're doing.
As long as
Just
they don't
looking around for my
sparkle, I am right there with you.
Exactly. Yes.
I was just looking around for my Castlevania amiibos, but I can't find them right now.
Oh. Yeah, no, I'm a big fan of that kind of setting. So Revendreth is where I'm headed for sure. Not to mention the fact that the Venthyr Covenant is probably the best choice I can make as a Demon Hunter tank.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I did have one question. I didn't put this in the show notes because I kind of want both of your gut reaction as people that like never really leave the game. Like they're not the me's that take 3-month breaks and then come back. You guys like
So the
never
Oscars.
leave.
Yeah.
Come
So
and go, but yeah.
I want to ask you too. So going into the Shadowlands and the basically the afterlife of Azeroth here, does it worry you in any respect that this could also lead into some like generic, hey, we did really well with these characters and now we can't really use them anymore, so let's go to the afterlife, because then we have excuses to be able to use the Arthuses and the other characters that people have come to like so much? Does it maybe run the risk of being I don't know, potentially long-term cheap fan service rather than progressing the story of the world of Azeroth to you? Does it run that risk, or are you not worried about that at all? Is this we'll go with you first.
For me, there's just a lot of loose ends with characters that have not been tied up yet. You know, like Vol'jin is the first one that comes to mind, and there's a lot of them, and I feel like this is a great opportunity to just finish off those stories so we can move on to hopefully bigger and better things. My concern is just where do we go from here? Because once you go to the afterlife, what is possibly after that? And I know it's a little too early to start brainstorming the next expansion, but that worries
No,
me.
it's never too early. Never too
two
early.
two of my favorite TV shows that I watched, they literally ended their seasons with what happens with the afterlife. So like that's a good place to end, and I feel like this would be a good place to end the World of Warcraft story, but we know that this is not the end. We know there's more to come.
Right.
It's just where do you go from here? And definitely I think it's Titan related, but
Kat?
Gosh, I almost forget the original question here.
You're welcome.
I do think that it's a little bit of fan service is kind of unavoidable. There's a little bit of pandering there. There are people
No, and
who
I'm totally on board with
absolutely
that. But
love. Yeah, and I want
if
to
you get
see
the
what
sense
they
like
do
they're
with it,
rehashing
but
Lich just because Lich did really well, then don't you feel cheated as somebody who stuck with it for all that time, assuming you weren't as big a Lich fan as you were?
I mean, the pre-patch event is kind of boring for me because it's just rehashing a bunch of Wrath of the Lich King
Yeah.
villains as rare spawns, and there's not a whole lot going on in Ice Crown that I haven't done in Ice Crown before. I'm setting bombs, I'm feeding mushrooms, I'm helping the Argent Crusade, I'm hanging out at the tournament grounds. It's all very familiar, and that is kind of boring because been there, done that. But as far as the story into Shadowlands goes, I am interested to see how they touch on these characters and their fates in the afterlife, and what's happened to them. Like what's going on with Ysera? Is she still out there? What's going on with Vol'jin? Like you said, like the Vol'jin is a fascinating story because Vol'jin was really one of the first indicators of this entire plot. Whenever he made Sylvanas the war chief, I mean, that right there was the first sign that something was fucky in the
Mm-hmm.
greater pantheon. So
Yeah, and let me tell you where this
yeah,
came from, if just in case this feels like a little out of the blue. Like, there's so many different characters to both of your points that could be touched on or visited or seen in Shadowlands when you open up the possibility that anybody that's dead is a potential person we could run into. And I think this kind of stemmed from me seeing stories back in the beta testing where we saw Mancrick's wife in the Shadowlands, and I was like, huh.
no wonder.
Well,
we
I mean,
can't
that
find
kind
her.
of that's neat, but that kind of opens up the possibility for really just
Anything.
me playing with a bunch of characters I've already played with before, and I don't know if that's necessarily what a lot of people look for in an expansion.
Can you imagine running into 100 versions of yourself from every time that you've ever died? Like that's like some sub area of the Shadowlands that nobody talks about,
They
like
all beat the piss out of me. We're sick of walking back to your body. Stop it.
but I'm more interested in the villains. Like I want to see Garrosh and things like that. It's Garrosh, yeah, he died.
Yeah,
I couldn't remember for a second. I was like, yeah, he died when he
Big
went
Ben.
all corrupted and all that. But yeah. So but it's like I don't think we're getting old gods, right? They go elsewhere.
Yeah.
I don't think they go to Shadowlands, but like I don't know. There's a lot of villains that I would love to see again, resurrected. Like Kalthos, are we getting him again? Like how many times can they resurrect him? Like
Tempest Keep was but a setback.
there's a lot they could do, and it has me really,
Well, I
really
mean,
excited.
Kel'Thuzad has been resurrected in Azeroth multiple times, so
Yeah.
let's just keep resurrecting here too, I guess.
Mhm.
Kat, you kind of already mentioned your initial thoughts on like week 2 now of the Scourge event. I will tell you that I've kind of had the opposite view of you, but I'm also in a position where that gave me a chance to level up and gear up some alts to run as mains so that I could
Right.
relearn some of the things. So the Druid is now at 100 gear level. It is ready to go and be a tank in Shadowlands when it starts. We got maybe get the mage there. I don't know if I'm gonna have enough time, but it'll be pretty damn close. I've actually been enjoying the tour through thank God that in week 2 here, they've increased the spawn rate to every 10 minutes for the
Oh
rares
God,
instead
yeah.
of every 20. But on the
Instead of 6
downside,
hours, it takes 3 now.
right. But on the downside, it means every 10 minutes, the zone becomes kind of a cluster of lag instead of every 20 minutes, it becoming a cluster of lag. So it's got its ups and downs. All in all, I got all the gear I needed. I bought one of the toys. I'm going to buy 1 or 2 more of the toys just to sock away and, sell months down the road when nobody has them anymore. But even on that front, Kat, when I had stuff I wanted to get done and out of this, I'm kind of ready for it to be over too.
Yeah. Well, it's not all bad. My husband and I joined a zombie raid last night, and we ran around all of Azeroth for a couple of hours, just um, slaughtering and transforming and chomping on as many people that we could possibly find, and it was a lot of fun. It was like 30 some people just trawling around as a zombie horde. It was
Nice.
great. It was great.
Yeah. I spent my
Sister,
time
thoughts on the
wisely.
yeah.
I went to the auction house and I bought one of the what are they not they're not called mementos this time. Forget the name of them. The keepsake. Uh
Oh, okay.
I bought one for 12,000. I got a bargain on that.
Nice
So
shit.
I
Yeah.
don't that's worth not running around farming off of every rare out there. So I'm pretty much done with the event at this point. I got my achievement for finishing the whole quest chain and I'm done. I can relax now until Shadowlands.
You and your stupid cheese mints.
Mhm.
Speaking of pre-patch, though, there was some additional items kind of being snuck into pre-patch here.
Mhm.
A couple tweaks. Most of this had to do with classes, and we're not going to go through all of them. That's boring and shit like that. But check out the patch notes or Wowhead or whatever to get the couple of tweaks, because pretty much every class received a little something in this, although priests and shamans and warlocks in particular got a lot of little somethings in this. I wanted to spot like one that I said, okay, yeah, that's really good. Druids
druid?
getting growl at level 9 instead of level
Oh, nice.
14.
Mhm.
That I
That's
think
good.
that had to be done. That's a very, very good call. From somebody that has just leveled a druid from 0 to 50, even though I already had a level cap druid. That is definitely a welcome change, considering that you can start queuing for dungeons at 10. And like me, if you were going in there and tanking at level 11, 12, 13, you couldn't hold shit.
Mhm.
And having no
Mhm.
taunt really just made that worse. So getting growl at level 9, definitely a benefit. Anything that, for you demon hunters, I guess, that sparked your fancy?
Nothing that really stood out to me. No, nothing
No.
important, nothing critical.
No.
Priests, definitely take a look. All 3 of your specs, particularly Shadow, got a little bit of love. Just some cooldown changes, things like that. On the PvP side of things, I did think this was interesting, that Roots and Fears now require 25% more damage to break when you're in combat with other players. Now, that's a pretty substantial increase. Is this making it, as somebody who does not PvP, and wow, I need to ask this, is this because it was way, way, way too easy to break? Or is this just making it a little bit harder so that there's more of a benefit to actually using those rootings and abilities in PvP, Zista?
I'm not really a PvP player very much myself, and I'm not 100% sure on this, but this sounds like it allows dots to be able to tick without breaking instantly. I'm not 100% sure if dots break those things in the first place, but that seems like that would be the case if it was. So,
I
Cat,
think
any?
it
Yeah.
makes roots a little bit more viable. Some entanglements a little bit more viable. It's not. It's going to change some strategies probably, but it's not going to be. I don't think it's going to be a huge negative.
Yeah, that was kind of my feeling. Like I didn't know if it was just, hey, there was no point in using these because they were just getting murked so fast that wasn't worth the cast time or the mana to root somebody, and
It
they were just
will.
underpowered, or if it was because, hey, they don't feel like they're even worth using, and we want players to be able to use those, so let's make them harder to kill.
Yeah, I think it's going to make people think more about when to use their trinkets and other abilities, other escapes. But
Yeah,
I don't
good call.
PvP a whole lot, so I can't speak to like the details and what that might impact.
we got some WoW Classic news. We're going to come back to that, actually, because I want to jump first to, since we're talking about Shadowlands and moving forward. I kind of put this in the wrong space in the show notes, so forgive me to my hosts here. But we're going to jump ahead a little bit. So AMD, with their whole Athlon graphics cards and all that's coming up, and they had this partnership with World of Warcraft that actually almost almost screwed up some surprise dates because of AMD announcing things a little earlier than they should. They had a little tech demo, and I'm going to show it on the B-roll here for everybody. On the new graphics cards, particularly in WoW, they were showing off a lot of features of the graphics cards here, and we'll show the trailer here. We'll show a couple pictures, too, of ambient occlusion and some shadow effects and stuff like that. And in watching this whole thing, I kind of ended up feeling like maybe a teenage MMO RPG isn't the best game to be trying to show off these graphical improvements and stuff.
Yeah, I don't necessarily think it's the age of the MMO. I think it's the art style more than anything. I just don't think it fits this kind of game, because there were some examples in the video they were showing where they're like, the left side's the old, the right side's the new, and I'm like, but the left side looks better. Like,
Yeah.
I can barely tell a difference in a lot of them. It was, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm going to put up the ambient occlusion one here first, Kat. It's just like, I spent a good 10 minutes, I think, looking at this, and I'm like, well, I mean, like, if I dig into this over here, like, I guess that looks a little better. Yeah. Like, if I'm showing off graphics cards, World of Warcraft just isn't the game that I use anymore. It may have been years ago. It just isn't anymore. I'm sorry.
With the excitement around Shadowlands, I could see them wanting to reach that audience, I guess.
Yeah.
But you're right. I don't think that it's really the best platform for a massive technical showcase.
Really, the only difference I see here is the shadows are just like, they cut off. They're like hard versus like a little bit of a blur on the edge of the shadows. That's really all I notice. Like, I don't see any other difference here in the entire screenshot.
Like that.
So
yeah, I thought looking at the shadows one, I was kind of like, well, I mean, I'm getting a little more depth in some of the shadows on the right hand side. Like, you can tell all the way around that lantern on the left is basically two different colors. One for the spine looking pieces on the wall, and then one for the wall itself, where you get a little more definite defining shadow on the right. So that one, at least I was like, okay, yeah, I can kind of see a little bit here, but yeah, I understand you want to tag along with the biggest MMO in the world launching its expansion and your new graphics cards happening to coincide basically with that launch, but yeah, there's a reason we used to use games like Crysis to benchmark and not World of Warcraft. And this, I think, art style is, to your point, a huge part of that.
yeah, like this one that you have on the screen here, the ray trace shadows, like I could definitely see more like a difference in the lighting itself and in the flame. But me personally, I prefer the left. Like, I don't know.
So, yeah, a little bit of a presentation, and I kind of put it in the show notes, and I was like, I hope this isn't just me, because I like it in the show notes.
It's definitely not.
Honestly, do you even see a difference in like 5 question marks? Because
I mean, I see the difference.
Normally, I pride myself on being tech savvy, and I know how to do this, and I know what all this stuff does and what it should look like, and doing software engineering myself. And I looked at this and I was like, if I can't find the difference, somebody like my wife is definitely not going to see a difference in these two pictures.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, I thought that was kind of weird. Going back to World of Warcraft Classic, Nax Ramus, yay. A lot of players got hit with bans this week, Zista. What the hell happened here?
I honestly have no idea. Maybe does this have anything to do with what we were talking about last week? Were people multi-boxing? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, apparently there was like some kind of weird issue, and Blizz hasn't exactly been clear on what happened. Like, initially they were tweeting out that it was definitely done on purpose, and if you have a dispute, here's how to, dispute a ban. But there were big swaths of people that were just banned. And the counter for their ban was like some absurd number. It was like 18,000 days or something like that.
And it's weird because a lot of companies have been doing this recently. Like, I think it was a month and a half, 2 months ago. This happened on Twitter too. A ban wave went out. People had no idea. And all of a sudden they reverted the changes. And I'm just like, what? They did ban appeals, and they're like, no, your account deserves to be banned. They wouldn't give them a reason. It's like, this is the same situation. I don't know what's going on, but it doesn't seem localized to just one game recently. I don't know.
Yeah, and
algorithms are fucking up.
Yeah, right? Like initially people thought, because there was just kind of an announcement, a blue post on it, but even the blue post was vague. Like it didn't say this was an accident, here's what happened. This was on purpose, here's what these people were doing. Mm-hmm. And so it led to speculation all over the place. Initially, people thought like maybe there was a terrain exploit where they were, people were porting their friends up on top of the gates at AQ, but then that was kind of shot down from the Blizzard side of things. And then to kick it all off, the bans were reverted. Like the massive reverting of the bans.
Just wasting people's time? I don't know.
They were like, stop farming for Nax. Stop. We want it to be as challenging as you remember. Stop. We're taking 18,000 days from you. All right. So when we get there next week, everybody, I've got my druid. You two are remaining your demon hunters, right? Mm-hmm. I know, Zista, you are. Kat, did you finally land on demon hunter?
I'm probably going to stick with demon hunter, but I still want to play my paladin more too, so we'll see.
So that's still in the air. You got like 7 days.
I'll probably play a little bit of both. I don't know.
Any leveling advice you want to give players as they go here? Any little tips and tricks that you normally do, or how you prep? Like, what do you got drink-wise? Are you the get all the snacks set up over here and play for the entire day? Like, what do you do, Zista, on X-Pac launch day?
I have lots of energy drinks ready. Green screen's probably messing with this logo really bad. But yeah, like I get the energy drinks going. I got a lot of junk food, all the healthy stuff, Cheetos, Pop-Tarts, that kind of stuff,
That is all 4 food groups. You have energy drink, you have pastry, you have carbohydrates in the plastic of the cheese puffs, and then you've got dairy with the cheese dust itself. So that is all 4 major food groups. What about you, Kat?
I just have to learn how to eat the Cheetos with chopsticks, and then I get the dust, so I don't have the dust on my hands, and then we're good. I just got to figure that part out.
Nice. What about you, Kat? Any expansion traditions you want to share?
Just remember to get up like once an hour, stretch your legs, check your posture, drink your water.
Eat water. Kat being like the antithesis here.
I'm allergic to water.
Zista is like, your legs love it when you sit for 10 hours. They love it.
I've been there, okay? I've been through that phase of my life. I'm sure I'm just going to be sitting here on my ass for like 9 hours, 10 hours a day. It's fine.
The only time you get up is to go to the bathroom. Don't you know that?
Husband, bring me some food.
I mean, hopefully it's not like the South Park episode where, when you have to go to the bathroom.
I see in the notes here, Dom Greco wrote friendly wager who will be the first to max level out of the 3 of us. No, I don't know. So I generally level pretty quickly in MMOs, just in general, whether I'm trying to or not. But I'm more interested in quest text and lore with this expansion than I was for BFA. So I'm probably going to go a little slower than I did in BFA. BFA, I honestly, probably about 2 hours into the quest thing, I was like, nope, don't give a rat's ass anymore. Sorry, writers, and just started, blowing through it. This one, I'm a little more amped for. That doesn't mean that it'll hold my attention all the way through as far as wanting to read it, but I can see myself initially probably falling behind the leveling curve of people that are just trying to level, because I am going to be reading all the quests, even the side text quests for now. And then, if it holds my attention, great. If not, boom, away we go, and it just becomes all right, let me get to level 60 here. So I'll probably, if I had to guess, it sounds like I'll probably be a little bit behind you two, although, Kat, you are a bit of a lore hound, too, so maybe you'll be on my side more than Zista's here.
I joke about being like the first to level, but when I got into BFA as well, like I spent days just enjoying Vol'dun and reading all the quest lines and immersing myself and getting into things as much as possible. So I will probably do the same thing in Shadowlands. I gotta be ready for Mythic Plus come December 8th, but that still gives me a couple weeks to get there, so I think I'll be okay.
Kat changing her opinion on Blizzard and their dates now that she's realized how close these dates are crammed together with holidays and everything.
God. I need to go Christmas shopping, and it can't be in World of Warcraft.
Come on, you just buy mounts for your friends and send
Oh
them.
my God. You get a store mount. You get a store mount. You get Christmas.
No, not even the store mount. You just get the ones that with the in BFA the zone drops. You just can you
okay.
wrap those in the gift wrap? I don't know.
Yeah, you just go for it. Just or just buy a bunch of toys. Buy a bunch of the toys from the daily vendor, and you're fine. Look here. Oh, you couldn't do Scourge event. Here you go. You're my friend. Merry Christmas. Now get out of my way. I got 2 more levels. Zista, are you going to be paying attention to lore, or are you more concerned with getting to the end and then you'll make up the lore and reading offline and stuff?
The way I've approached previous expansions is I'm going to go through as fast as possible, and then I'll level a second character and slow down and pay attention to the lore then. And I've come to realize that just never happens. I just end up sticking with the one character. I never get to that alt. I end up having to infer a lot of the story, but I think this time
I have a feeling Kat's about to just bless you with some wisdom on this approach
No,
here, because she
no,
immediately was like,
Before you start slow leveling the second character, can you tell us what you think the Shadowlands story is?
oh my
Like,
God.
through it?
Yes. Kat, you're a genius.
yeah. Just
Speed level. Write down what you think the storyline
the
is.
story of Warcraft as told by Zista.
Yes.
The memoirs.
So
of
it took
the
me
dead
it took
demon
me 4.5 hours to get to max level. Here's what Shadowlands is all about. So there's this dude, the jailer, and he's got some green shit he keeps throwing places. All right.
But
so I'm going to decline the wager. We already have a little bit of a competition going on, Zista, you and I, with Astro's Playroom.
That is
and
true.
speed running there. I have the highest world record ranking out of the two of us. You have the current best time out of the two of us, though. So we've got a little bit. I'll use that as my competition right now. I'm really looking forward to just chilling and enjoying Shadowlands.
I was gonna say, if we were gonna do a friendly wager, I would have said, our next stream for Ready Check Radio, we decide a game out of each other's Steam libraries. That was my idea.
No, because you and other people gifted me the Political Machine 2012, whatever, and you guys made me play it when I used to do a stream on Gamebreaker called Owned It, Never Played It. And so they gifted me. It was Mitt Romney against Barack Obama in this like $5 political simulation game.
Amazing.
It was awful.
And at the same time, I got stuck playing Robot Vacuum Simulator.
Yes, you did. Then there was some other one that I think Lack gifted me one night, because that was the rule. If I got gifted something, it immediately jumped to the top of the list. Otherwise, it would just be Steam games that I owned and hadn't played yet. There was a train. Dom or Zista's the one that did the train. Yeah, train simulator.
24-hour train simulator stream twice.
There was something about unicorns that I'm pretty sure it was Lack that gifted it to me way back when.
I also got it.
We were trying to breed unicorns.
Yeah, I got the same game.
Oh God, you people are ruthless. It's absolutely ruthless. All right. You've got a week, gang. I hope you're ready. I hope you have fun. Enjoy it. Particularly this year. This year has sucked, so if you can enjoy this for a couple of days, enjoy it for a couple of days. We won't be back on Tuesday to give you our thoughts, and those would be kind of rushed anyway if we were after like an hour or two of playing
Honestly, knowing Blizzard's track record, we'd still
it.
just be
Yeah.
in queue waiting for
Good point.
to resolve or
So
something.
no show next week for the holidays, but we'll be back the following Tuesday. Now, Dom and I may actually stream in the time slot of Snowbound, like do like maybe a special edition Snowbound where him and I just do some like dual stream, giving our thoughts and playing through it and stuff like that. But no official show next week. We'll come back the following week. So stay posted. Make sure you're following twitch.tv/ReadyCheckRadio. You'll get the notifications on what we're doing, but we may be here and do something. It just won't be the show proper. Moving on to other Blizzard news, we've got Diablo news on not just Diablo 3, but also Diablo 2. Kat, what was that? Did you just fall down?
No, I was just like very excited to hear Diablo.
Oh, I was like very Wilhelm screaming. Oh. I wasn't, because I didn't see what happened because I cut away from your camera while I was giving the part about, and all I heard was whoa. Like I expected to go back to all camera and just see your chair spinning, like you had fallen or something. On the Diablo 2 front, it's not from Blizzard, but some fans are continuing some pretty extensive modding on here. Zista, tell us about it.
Yeah. I don't know.
And this, my friends, is why you read your fucking show notes.
I guess they're doing what, some new content and stuff for it? Like,
they're doing that.
Well, is what, Project Diablo 2?
Yeah, Project Diablo 2. They did a big Diablo 2 thing earlier this year, and now they're adding more to it. Just kicked off its first season, Awakening, which was actually November 6th, so a little while ago, but I missed it. My fault. And they reset this server every 4 months, too. So if you're looking for something on the Diablo 2 front, this might be worth a look, because there's a lot of improvements here. They've reworked spells, rebalanced runes, skills, items, quality of life improvements, and they're trying to take every weak or unusable skill and tweak it so that you could actually make builds around it. So there's a whole bunch of new options here. Check it out on Google. Just look up Diablo 2 mod or Project Diablo 2. It's pretty much a massive overhaul to the entire Diablo 2 game. And I know there is still, I'm not part of them, Kat, but there is a nutty fan base for Diablo 2 still. Is that just because Diablo 2 was so damn good, which it was, I'm not disputing that, or because Diablo 3 maybe missed the mark of the Diablo audience a little bit?
I think you're kind of hitting the point that I wanted to make, which was that Diablo 2 remains such a classic with these fans because it really just hits all the marks for that kind of gameplay. And Diablo 3 kind of doesn't really deliver the same feeling. So
it's kind of a different experience from top down.
Yeah.
Not to say that either are bad. I enjoy both, but there's definitely a feeling of I'm playing a different game. Not I'm playing a game in the same franchise. It almost feels totally different to me. On the Diablo 3 side of things, their 22nd season kicks off in 3 days as well. They put a patch live 2.6.1. Really not a ton of stuff in here that I really feel like we should talk about, although the pylon effect does seem kind of neat. And this is only going to work during Season 2, by the way. So the pylons can be used to generate a shadow of your build, basically, for I think it's like a minute or two to go with you. I'm sorry, and the fourth slot on Kanai's cube is only for this season, too. So I mean, Diablo news all the way around. Does this really matter to either of you? Zista, you're just like, I don't really care.
I never enjoyed Diablo 2 to begin with.
Really?
I guess, yeah, I'm part of the minority. I enjoyed Diablo 1 way more than Diablo 2. It was just, I think we might have talked about this in a previous episode. I didn't like the tone. Diablo 2 seemed to get lighter as it went. It was like desert and for me, Diablo was all about the dungeon and going into the depths of hell, and I just didn't enjoy like going into the desert, going into the jungle. Didn't enjoy that stuff. Like going back to Tristram in the first act, with the doom and gloom ruins and stuff was all right, overworld, but like going into the caves felt great. I didn't enjoy Act 2, Act 3. I liked Act 4, but I don't know. It was that, and then I didn't enjoy Diablo 3 at all. So
Wow.
I would like to see more time spent somebody modding Diablo 1.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, I think you're
I
really
wouldn't
in the
mind
minority,
Diablo
my
1
friend.
on the Diablo 2 engine. Like, I wouldn't mind that. So, because I like the engine for Diablo 2. I like a lot of the changes to the abilities. I liked a lot of the changes to the characters. Didn't like the environments.
Kat, when are we going to see Diablo 4? When do you think? Like, take a stupid guess. I know this wasn't in the show notes or anything, but just like on the spot gut reaction, D4 comes out when?
I'm gonna say if not end of 21, then early 22.
So like a Q1 2022 type deal?
Yeah. Although they did just like completely revamp the skill tree system apparently, so who knows? They've got a lot of work to go.
I'm gonna say 2023.
Yeah, I'm gonna go 2022, probably around October-ish, like around the time of BlizzCon-ish, if it runs on a normal schedule in 2021, 2022. So yeah, I think I'll go late 2022, right around
Going early
BlizzCon.
2023.
2023. Wow.
hmm
I see, Blizzard has really long like development cycles and has always taken its time with games, but I think we've
Yeah.
seen more and more that deadlines have been pushed
Yeah, I
more
was just
more
good point.
strictly.
I was just kind of thinking like when you do 2023, that pushes Diablo out for 3 years, roughly.
Yeah.
Diablo Immortal will do whatever it's going to do on the mobile front. That's fine. You already have Shadowlands, so presumably we won't
We'll
see
be in the
another
next.
expansion until 2022-ish.
Yeah, we'll be in the next one by
We'll
the time.
get Overwatch 2, probably my guess is right around BlizzCon virtual in February.
I don't think so. I don't.
I think we're going to at least beta and Overwatch 2 right around then.
I think we'll get a beta, and I think it's going to be more along the lines of what the people got in BlizzCon the year before, where it's like the one level. We might get two. I think it's only going to be one level though.
I think it's further than you're giving it credit for. I think we're getting a closed beta right around BlizzCon.
Yeah, I don't know. Something
But
about
if
it.
so,
tells me
let's say that's
we're not
right
getting
though.
it.
That literally puts between now and 2023 the only launch being Overwatch 2.
Mhm.
I just can't see that big a development gap, Kat. And I think you're dead right. That like Activision is no.
But
There's too much pressure from stockholders and
you think Blizz is not working on anything else though? What if we get
I'm sure
another
they're working on
bombshell
anything else.
IP that they
I'm
just decide
sure
to
they're
drop on
working.
us like
They
Overwatch?
have to be. That's my whole point is that they have
Yeah.
to be working on other things.
Yeah.
There's no way. I don't think the timelines we've given are ridiculous. I don't think it's ridiculous for Kat to think D2 could be out as early as Q1 2021 or you as late as 2023. I think they all fit in Blizz's mold. But if we put them all at those types of frames, then the only thing you have sitting there is Overwatch 2. And that doesn't look good from an Activision perspective. So, what else is Blizzard working on?
I think with the pushback that we had with the whole Diablo franchise at that BlizzCon, where you guys have phones, all that stuff, kind of forced them to make the announcement earlier than they wanted to, and I don't think it's nearly.
On D4?
Yeah, I don't think it's anywhere near as ready as people expected it. That was kind of like almost like a fan service to just like get it out there to let them know people are that it's coming. But I don't think it's anywhere near ready. And if they release that too early, that's going to be worse than delaying it. Like.
No doubt. No doubt, because as we can see with our next topic, Blizzard fans are, Kat, they are adult, they are mature,
Oh yes,
they are
very well known for
grown, articulate
that.
when it comes to feedback, and maybe they're giving a lot of it right now. Because Hearthstone's new expansion, not all sunshine, roses, and lollipops right now. People are not happy about the battle pass, and they have every right to be. Now, here's the thing. This may hit you differently. then it
Absolutely.
hits somebody else. Because depending on how you play Hearthstone, you might not have noticed this. You might like the new progression systems because you get more legendary cards along the way. You might like the progression systems because you play on the more casual side of things, and the progression comes at a pretty decent clip at the beginning of the new pass stuff, the new experience path that was entered into the game in the last expansion pack. If you're on the high ladder climbing side of this stuff, you probably aren't happy about this because you don't really care about those additional legendaries here and there along the way. Yours was farm up the gold, right? So that you can buy packs, particularly with a new mid set coming out in 2 months after the expansion. A lot of people on that end of things like to stock up on gold and packs and then open them when the mid set comes out, since those are added to the boosters. So this might hit you differently depending on where you are in how you play Hearthstone. But ultimately, at the end of the day, you can't argue the fact that one of the biggest things that people were worried about when these new passes, this new experience leveling was surveyed way back when, was don't take away my gold gain.
Mm-hmm.
Don't cripple my gold gain. And we were told in the videos when we talked a few weeks ago about the expansion coming up, we were told by John Yang, senior game designer, on the Hearthside chat on October 22nd, quote, "We're absolutely not taking away any of the gold you can earn," end quote. Doesn't get any more clear than that. People were very happy to hear that. Zista, that's not what happened, though. That is not what happened. The numbers have now been crunched by data miners and people in-game, and it just isn't true by a significant amount. Yes, you do get some other items in that whole battle season pass thing, but the gold loss is pretty big. You have to gain Go ahead.
Do we know how much gold they crunched as potential pre battle pass? Because I know what the number is afterwards. It's 19,200 if you include the extra 150 levels after the battle pass, or the extra 100 levels.
Yeah,
after
I don't know myself what it was before. Kat, do you happen to know?
No, I don't know the
either.
exact numbers.
Yeah.
50 levels in the pass, you got to gain experience, earn over those 50 levels, and you start getting extra gold. But the only way to gain experience is achievements, initial quests, and playing the game itself only really provides a little tiny bit of experience.
Daily quests and weekly quests also give. So.
Yep. To the equivalent gold of the old system, some posts are estimating that you have to play for 12 hours per day, Kat, under the new system to potentially make what you did in the old one.
They weren't lying. You can get the same amount of gold.
They didn't say it was going to be equal amount of time investment.
Yeah, that's brutal.
Yeah.
That's punishing.
On the website, if you go check out the forums, there is some like nuanced feedback. I mean, I kid about, Blizzard fans in general teeing off on things, but every once in a while you do come across some very nuanced and constructive feedback and some things they're doing right and some things they aren't. Of course, the things they aren't is the gold acquisition. This is a huge deal for people not feeling rewarded for actually playing the game. And that's a huge problem when you get to a game like Hearthstone, where it is the same thing every 8 minutes, Zista. It has to feel rewarding. On top of that, there is the feeling of being flat out lied to. Now, whether this was Blizzard thought the math worked out and now seeing it in large-scale practice, it's not. I don't know how you could do that in this particular setup, but was it intentional to try and milk more money because you have to buy different passes that some people thought should have been included or were going to be included? Was this, intentional on that front? Was it not intentional? Now seeing it in practice, we're going to get the typical blue post. Sorry, we hear your feedback. Like, we know that's coming. It's just a question of what they do when they send it. It's really hard for Hearthstone fans to take what they say seriously. Direct quote saying, "We're not messing with that. Here's the expansion. We messed with that. Get wrecked."
Yeah. See, me, I consider myself a casual Hearthstone player. I know I play more than the average person. I'm actually looking at my past right now. Let me see if I get this here. So I'm currently where did I go? I'm currently level 16 going into 17 of the battle pass of the first 50 levels.
Mm-hmm.
But I did buy the tavern pass. That's the other thing. And I know
Right.
we'll
Which a lot
talk
of
about
I've
this.
seen informal surveys that are running at 50% right now
Yeah.
on whether they knew that was going to be a separate cost or not. That's how
Yeah.
poor the communication around this has been.
Yeah. So, but yeah, every earn 150 gold for every level completed beyond 50 up to level 150. So that's an additional 100 levels. So there is the potential to earn gold. And in some cases, for me, at being a casual player, uh, I'm probably going to get more gold than I would have normally. So that's a little exciting for me. But for hardcore players, people that are playing all the time and maxing out, min maxing every day, I definitely see that it can be a gold loss. So,
Kat, you and I both work in software fields, and where we deal with math, right?
Right.
This does not seem impossible to have gotten right by me. I'm a software engineer. I do this for a living. Now, granted, would you have found the ideal solution that would have addressed Jason Winter or Zista playing very casually versus Cat playing right now before the patch for 16 hours a day and equitably made both of them happy? Probably not. But you should have been able to math out how much gold does our typical player, our whale, and our super casual player get in a season, in a month, in a week. Let's see. All right, there's the numbers. How much do they get in our new system? Okay, let's see. Here's the numbers. Oh, shit, those are different. Like, I have a hard time. I understand in World of Warcraft when they implement something that changes a skill, the timer on a skill, the cooldown on something, and it has an unintended consequence somewhere else in the game. They took it out to adjust it for PvP reasons, and oh shit, now it's way overpowered in PvP side of things. I get that. This should have been straight up numbers comparison, Kat.
yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I feel like, I mean, they had to have had the data, but on one hand, who is your driving, like what audience are you most trying to appease to? Like what
Mm-hmm.
you can't take a sweeping action that's going to leave everybody happy. And if it's working out better for the more casual players, or it's working out to a more fair experience for the more casual players, like if you're getting more gold, Zista, for the time that you're actually able to invest into the game, that could be seen as a good thing for that community.
Hmm.
But then you've got the people who are way more hardcore about it, and they see that they're being mistreated by this and that they were misled by these statements, and that's where the problem really lies, I think.
Yeah, and that's where it gets hard, I think, for people to take it seriously, Zista, that it wasn't just... There is so much of a... You hear this all the time, right? Blizzard is not Blizzard of 5 years ago. Blizzard is not Blizzard of 10 years ago. Blizzard is different under Activision. Blizzard has different priorities under Activision. And it is really hard not to fall into that meme accusation, right? When stuff like this happens, it's almost like, well, shit, I don't know how else to explain it besides you were trying to appeal to a base to try and get a little more money out of them. It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate.
Yeah. I was just looking through the Tavern Pass too, and I'm like, maybe they're factoring in getting the card packs themselves as the equivalency of gold, because each pack is worth 100 gold, and that doesn't even seem to add up. So
Nope. So we will keep an eye on this. I assume we're going to get a blue post at some point. Apologies, Kat. We're listening.
Of course.
We're listening.
We've
upped but the thing is, this isn't an easy fix. Like, you up the experience that you get for certain things, and now you've shot things in the other direction. Yeah. And as a business, now nobody's spending any money. Like, I get there's a delicate balance that you have to attain here, but it really shouldn't be that delicate of a balance if you're going to come out and say, we are not messing with the amount of gold you can get in a given season, and then the math says, shit, you messed with the amount of gold we can get in a given season. This one should not have been hard on that front.
On the other hand, you have the new progression system that has gotten a couple of my friends that play, and they've kind of shifted to only playing Battlegrounds where you don't need to purchase anything. You don't have to buy cards. You could literally just go into the mode, play, and it's the same for everybody, no matter if you put 5 minutes into the game or if you put, 25 hours a day, which is impossible, but you know what I mean. Like it's the same experience other than knowledge, like that's the only difference. Some of those players are looking at this progression system and going, this kind of makes me want to play ranked again. So I think the new progression system as a whole is fantastic. I think it's getting a lot of people in. One of my friends literally watched me open my card packs today and was like, wow, look at all the achievements you're getting. He goes, I kind of just want to buy card packs so I can get the achievements.
Endorphin rush.
So I'm like, well, they're doing something right with this. But yeah, I think maybe if because they took away with the main thing is the daily quests don't give gold anymore. Yep. That's the main problem. So maybe if they lowered the amount of experience and added a little bit of gold to them, it would even things out. Maybe not give quite as much as we got last time.
What is it? The three wins per day. Gold reward.
Yeah, you used to get 10 gold for that. I don't know if you still do. I believe you get XP instead.
You get XP.
Yeah. But the quests themselves, you used to do a quest and get anywhere between 40 to 80 gold, 100 in some extremely rare cases. But now you're just getting XP for the battle pass. So maybe if they lowered that, maybe gave 20 gold a quest, on top of the, not maybe as much XP, bring it down a little bit, maybe that would even things out. I don't know. But it doesn't feel good to not get gold from doing quests anymore.
Nope. All right, let's finish up. We got a little bit of Overwatch news, and then we'll get to lore or lies. We'll give you the answer for last week's, and then give you this week. In Overwatch news, first off, you've got some stuff you want to talk about here, Dom. Challenges that just started today.
Today, we got the Symmetra Restoration Challenge, where you play in any mode, 9 wins. Well, I don't know any mode, but the arcade or competitive. 9 wins will get you a brand new Symmetra skin that correlates with the short story that they released today. Unfortunately, I have not had time to read the short story yet because I was too invested in playing Overwatch all afternoon. So yeah, you get a skin in game based on the one from the short story. And if you watch, I think it's 6 hours total of streams, you'll get a bunch of sprays for watching it. It's literally anybody. So the sprays are adorable. You don't have to go and watch like the big streamers, and try to, you could watch somebody who's got, 1 view, 0 views, whatever, make their day, give them an audience to talk about. And that's what I love about these particular Twitch challenges that they release is, you can watch anybody to get these. So.
I brought some Overwatch news too.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I know, right? On the experimental realm, the experimental shard there, Pharah's fast fall damage avoidance, that lasted a day.
I was really looking forward to this change. Like, I was hoping this was going to go live because Pharah's a sitting duck in the sky. So
nope, it lasted a whole day. If you don't know what we're talking about, on the experimental server, you were able to crouch and actually accelerate down. So you could like use it to dodge ultimates and things like that, and get, like you say, get out of the damn sky. To not be a sitting duck in the sky. Yeah, that lasted 24 hours before Blizz took it out. Now maybe we'll see it again in some sort of fashion down the road here. But what I didn't like about this was why. Like, we still don't even really know why. All Blizz said was it caused issues for some players.
It could be desync.
What, the ones trying to hit Pharah? I mean, because I'm not really worried about them.
No, I don't think so. I think it's probably technical side. It might cause like some desync issues because to my knowledge, there's no characters that thrust downward. So it literally might be something to do with that, or hitboxes, or things like that. I don't know.
Some other character changes, Kat, that are still on the experimental server if you want to go look at those. There's a few of them, so check it out on Overwatch's site. But one or two of the ones that I wanted to bring up here was Anna's Biotic Grenade now passes through allies at full health on the experimental server. Thank God.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing worse than chucking that and having your big-ass meaty tank get in between you and your target and just eating that damn thing while they're already at full health. Maze Ice Wall, and this one isn't just Maze Ice Wall. There's a few different characters that have these have different placement abilities like the Ice Wall. Those can now be manually destroyed when you're dead, and there's a few of those. That is like absolutely perfect for me because every one I throw is misplaced anyway.
I used to be a main, and I would use my wall to protect the team a lot. And one of the constant things you hear is drop the wall, drop the wall, drop the wall. A lot of people don't know you could just press the button to make the wall go up, press it again, and it drops the wall. Problem is, if you die, you had no way to drop it.
You had no way to do it. Yeah.
Hopefully this goes through to live.
And it's not, like I said, it's not just May. There's a few others with different placement effects that get that. So all good things. I don't
they
like
also added
Farah taken out of there, but maybe we'll see it back at some point.
They also added a new limited time competitive arcade mode right now. Usually runs about 30-something days or whatever. It's no limits. This is the first time that they've ever done this. Usually they throw a bunch of like limited time competitive modes in their rotational, and they come up every now and then. This is the first time they've ever done no limits, where you can pick multiple copies of the same hero. So I spent all day today doing my 10 placement matches. I think I placed 2,700, something like that. But there's something about going in there and setting up 6 Torbs for defense that is just, it feels satisfying. And I want to know, how is this a game mode, but we still don't have competitive mystery heroes? Just throwing that out there.
Kat, are you picking up into Overwatch again, or is this still a sidelined one for you?
Still sort of sidelined. I got that Shadowlands thing coming, so I'm just gonna have
Yeah,
to
I kind of figured. Like, I didn't know if you were. What are you doing in the meantime then? Like, what is on Kat's game plate right now for like the last week, and then this coming week until Shadowlands is there? What are we playing?
Well, we just started playing The Pathless, which is a game by the same studio that did like Journey and Abzu. It's kind of a Breath of the Wild-ish game, but with some different movement mechanics and exploration mechanics that make it pretty interesting. It's a beautiful world. Soundtrack is done by Austin Wintory, who is fantastic. And yeah, so that's one I can recommend.
You mean you're not playing Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War?
No, but I appreciate that segue.
It is being reviewed well, at least by critics. I mean, it's like between 75 and 80 by most critics. Not off to a great start with players, though. Not so much. 3.3 right now.
Well,
3.3. 3.8 on PlayStation.
Gamers
on
really
PlayStation 4.
Hard people to please.
All right, let's wrap it up here. Let's slide over and do everybody's favorite segment. It's time for Lore or Lies. As always on Lore or Lies, our resident lore master, Lil Missy. You can follow her right there at the bottom of my screen on Twitter at LILMISSY4205. Supplies us with 3 different statements, one of which has a falsehood in it. The other 2 are 100% the stone cold truth. Last week we gave you 3, but it wasn't the Edrune who raised the first undead. That was the Nathrazim, the Dreadlords. The Burning Legion sects can be pretty tricky to keep track of, though, so if you missed that one, don't feel bad. Veramathras was the Dreadlord in Undercity, once located in the Royal Quarter, who served as Major Domo of Sylvanas Windrunner before the coup to control the Forsaken City. So if you got that one wrong, don't feel bad. Don't feel bad. They're kind of challenging to keep track of. This week, we're going to give you 3 statements. I'll go first. Dom will go second. Then Kat will go third. One of these statements has a falsehood in it. The other 2, stone cold truth. So are you ready, Kat? Are you ready, Zista?
So
Yep.
ready.
Here we go. Speaking of Sylvanas Windrunner, she is the Daenerys of Warcraft with.
Oh yeah.
I need a drink.
Amazing.
My throat just like instantly went dry. Trying to say Daenerys.
Ugh.
Sorry, we're gonna start that over.
Wait, the whole podcast again?
Yeah, the entire thing. Speaking of Sylvanas Windrunner, she is the Daenerys of Warcraft with titles Lady Sylvanas Windrunner, Farstrider, Ranger General of Silvermoon, the Dark Lady, the Banshee Queen, Queen of the Forsaken, Betrayer of the Horde, Agent of the Jailer in Shadowlands.
Mm-hmm. So I guess Undeath allows you to career change and finish your bucket list. And Sylvanas has serious middle child issues as the sister between the oldest Illyria and the youngest sister Verisa. Or it's from the loss of their eldest brother, Landless.
Maybe that's why she can't get over the fact she didn't land the killing blow to Arthas Menethil, the Lich King, and threw herself off Icecrown Citadel. Doing so did lead her to meet her new boss, the Jailer. She came back from the Dark Void thanks to the Valkyr sacrificing themselves to keep her in undeath.
Two of those true. One of those not. You need to tell us which, whether it's in the comments on YouTube or on ReadyCheckRadio.com. And no, it's not enough just to tell me who said the false one. You got to tell us why. But as a special little recommendation from our lore keeper, Missy, to brush up on a few books going forward. So you might want to familiarize yourself with Arthas, Rise of the Lich King, Shadows Rising, just to prepare you for Shadowlands if you want to get into some of that lore. Also, check out the short story Sylvanas Windrunner, Edge of Night, Arthas, End of Night, then Shadows Rising in that order if you're a little bit tired of the Scourge event. And make sure, while you have a moment, that you follow Lil Missy 4205. Supplies us with
expect me
that.
to read those books when I just missed a segment in the notes?
No, here's what I expect you to do. I expect you to flip through those books and then come back and tell us what you think the story of Arthas is. According to those books after a flip through. No show next week. We'll keep you posted on if we're going to do a little special event here. Right after the show, we've got one of our other streamers coming up. Mr. Jason Winter, how are you, sir?
I'm doing... excuse me. Oh, I got to get hold on. Okay, all right. I'm good. I'm good.
What are you streaming today? You're changing things up. No Crusader Kings. We're going a different path.
Well, I'm going to play a game with a 3 in the title. So I'm keeping that tradition alive at least.
All right.
But it's going to be Wasteland 3, the game by In Exile Entertainment. It's a turn-based RPG with a lot of heavy story elements, kind of a tactical game. So trying something different. Yep, just like you said.
Brandon's not going to watch it. There's no X's in it.
Chad will not get to make the decisions for me this time.
Oh, no making the decisions. I was having fun putting you in really, really bad spots.
I'll die plenty myself in this without your help.
If you're in chat, remember the stream does go dead for just a brief minute once I stop broadcasting. We'll have a few minutes of wrap up after the show here, and then we'll go dead, and it'll immediately come back up with Jason streaming that. So don't go anywhere if you want to hang out and see some new games and hang out with Mr. Jason Winter this evening. Jason, thank you so much. We'll see you in just a few minutes, my friend.
Good luck, Jason.
Mm-hmm.
All right, that brings our show to a close today. Remember, no Snowbound next Tuesday. Zista and I will keep you posted if we're going to do a dual stream of us leveling or something like that. If Kat wants to jump in, I don't know everybody's servers, so we'll have to figure it out. But we'll let you know. We'll keep you posted. Until next week, Kat, where can everybody find you, my friend?
I'm on Twitter as Cat Named Norris, and I'm on Wormrest Accord role-playing in the Valley of Honor. So come and find me.
Zista.
You can find me down below at It's Zista, as well as on Twitch at Just Zista, Xizta.
I'm Mike Byrne. You can follow me personally right there at Magic Man 1 over on Twitter, but more important, follow RC Radio so you can get all the tweets every time we're going live with any one of our members of the stream team. It's been a lot of fun. Thank you so much. Stay safe, and we'll see you in 2 weeks after the holiday. Happy Thanksgiving.